So former Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino is back on his podcast, and he's talking all about the Epstein files. There's a lot I want to say here. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about former Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino coming back to his podcast and talking all about the Epstein files. Now, before I begin, I want to say, hey, Dan, welcome back to your show, bro. Welcome back. Now, I'm not a viewer of your show. I don't really watch political YouTubers because I don't want to give an unoriginal thought to you guys. If you're watching Dan and me and other guys, I suspect you want different points of view, not the same point of view, just in different voices. So I don't really watch him, but I see him clipped a little bit, and I know that's his passion. And I know once he went to the federales, it was not his lane. I saw him on Fox News talking about, oh, I miss my wife, and I'm in these four walls all day. I knew he wasn't going to last. And that outburst he had in the summertime of 25 was ridiculous, talking about you're going to cuss out Pam Bondi and go home and go AWOL. It's like, bro, at that point, if you're going to do all that, just go back to the house. So I'm glad you're back in your comfort zone. Now he's speaking about the Epstein files. There's a lot I want to say about that, but before I go any further, let's get straight to the video. Of course, I will link to this in the description box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
But it was a level 10 problem. It was never going to please everyone. The person I thought at the time who nailed what the issues were with this was our good friend Mike Davis. I'll play the CNN one, the clip next, but throw up Davis's tweet. There were a ton of problems with this. There was grand jury material. There was he put this out. Anyone who kids deserves the death penalty. Amen. Here's the problem with the Epstein mess. The FBI doesn't have the evidence many thought it did. I want to see the files, folks. I said, don't let it go. I meant it. We got elected. We looked at it. The file was not what was in there, was not what we thought would be in there. There are not tapes with powerful men, kids. There is not a list. Epstein's Rolodex was already public. The file's largely unreleasable for many reasons, including grand jury material, which they're moving to get a lot of that out. Court records under seal, child pornography that was downloaded from the internet. You can read the rest of it. Protection of victims. We obviously don't want victims' names out there. Here's another one. Keep that up for a second. Double or triple hearsay. You're seeing it now. You're seeing on Twitter, like, this guy said Joey Bag of Donuts, cut this woman with a razor, or this young girl while raping her. And you're like, wow, that's a really horrible story. It's terrible. And then you find out Joey Bag of Donuts was some famous athlete who was playing a game in Phoenix that night. Like, a lot of this stuff was just people called, not all of it. This is an extremely serious case. Let me be crystal clear. But that doesn't mean every single tip that came in, had any kind of veracity to it at all. A lot of the stuff was clearly debunked. He said, does anyone believe Bondi, Patel, or Bongino would cover up for Bill Clinton or Bill Gates? Didn't even make sense. I was all over this case on my show. The Trump DOJ wanted to be fully transparent, but it couldn't at the time for the reasons above. It's not going to satisfy many, and that's fine. But folks, I'm not going to spend the next 2 years talking about it. This administration got you the information. You can all look at it, and a lot of people are using it to divide us from the inside. Those are just the facts. That's just the way it goes. And by the way, the dividing people from the inside thing is not working. A lot of this is bullshit. A lot of it is foreign operations designed to make us divorce ourselves from the inside, current thing, everything. It is a deadly serious case. There is zero doubt about it. Everyone in the administration treated it as such. Everyone from the start. But it was a level 10 problem. I can prove it to you. No one else had solved it in the past. Correct? Those are just the facts.
All right, there we go. So there's a lot here. First of all, okay, again, Dan, I'm glad you're back doing what you like to do. But the issue with this whole, they're using it to divide us, you are part of the problem here, sir, because on your show, on the Dan Bongino show, I'm not sure how long you did it, bro, months, years, we're talking about Epstein files. So we're going to find it. We're going to get down to the bottom of it. We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to do all these different things. And then once you get to become the deputy FBI director, nothing happens. Now, I thought from the beginning, nothing was going to happen because Epstein been dead since 2019. Epstein's been dead since 2019. So if nothing has happened thus far, and nothing gonna happen. Especially, like, the main thing that really let me know this was going to be the case was when they're talking about Trump and the Epstein files. You know, people saying, oh, Trump's in the Epstein files, Trump's in the Epstein files. And then once you get Joe Biden in there for 4 years, there's nothing about Trump in the Epstein files. There's no disclosure. And of course, that would have been easy to use that against Trump to keep him out of the White House. That would have been very simple. Just put that out there. If it's all about Trump and that's it, put that out there and then he's finished. Rather than doing that, what did they do? They're going to people like Letitia James and Fonnie Willis, trying to make these people throw their lives away on the coming mission to try and keep Trump out of office. Okay. And those who were supporting their efforts, the higher ups, knew full well they had no case. But I guess the thought process was, if we make Trump look bad enough, he won't be able to succeed. I mean, the thing that would have made him really look bad was the Epstein files, but they didn't do that because ain't nothing there. It's allegations, accusations, but it ain't nothing there. Now, speaking about allegations, accusations, Elon Musk was in the Epstein files. Okay, he's in the Epstein files. And he's like trying to say, oh, well, they wanted me to go on the plane and I didn't want to go. They wanted me to go on the island. I didn't want to go. And I believe him. But see, the problem is people are in the Epstein files and his accusations laid at their feet. And it can be hard to overcome that, even if you're totally innocent or you didn't do anything that's illegal. Let me just read what Elon said, and then I'm going to explain more about that. He said, this is how I knew so long ago that Reed Hoffman went to Epstein's island. Epstein used Reed being there to try and get me to go, not realizing that it would have had the opposite effect. Okay. So again, he's in the Epstein files. You see it right there. Elon Musk, Epstein to Elon. I guess they've been emailing back and forth. Elon said, well, look, I never went to the island. I never did anything, et cetera, et cetera. But see, here's the problem. Remember when Elon and Trump had a little breakup a while back, that really big breakup that happened? I think they're kind of like back together, back on good terms now. But remember that first really big breakup between Elon and Trump? What did Elon say? Oh, Trump's in the Epstein files. I'm like, okay. So what does that mean? Being in the Epstein files does not mean you did anything wrong. Because when you're investigating people, you're going to put people in there who could be linked to it in some kind of way. An accusation. Somebody calls the FBI with a tip. It could be phony or not. You're going in the file. Same thing with Elon. In this case, there was some emails, but there was nothing nefarious done. There was no actual child trafficking or nothing like that on behalf of Elon Musk. Okay. And then same thing, Russell Wilson, NFL football player. Now, the original tweet here is not available, but it was saying that he's in the Epstein files and he was trying to buy Epstein's plane. But he says, nope, absolutely not. Not today, Satan. Some random plane broker tried to sell me a plane. I had no idea whose plane and never bought the plane. Never talked nor never met the man. Thank God. Okay. See, you can explain yourself like that, but what if people don't believe you? Just by being in the Epstein files alone, that's enough to pretty much bury you, ruin you, or invoke doubt in the minds of those who may support you. Now, there's also other people that got mentioned. I think Jay-Z was in the files. I've not heard anything from Jay-Z at all. He's been radio silent. There's also Bill Gates. Now, I'm going to give you Bill Gates as an example as I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Bill Gates was in the files. And one thing that came out was that he had been with some Russian hookers, I guess you would say. I don't know what the correct word is for the internet. He was with them and he caught an STD and had to get something to clear it up before he got to his wife, Melinda. Or he had to give it to Melinda so she'd be all right. Either way it goes, whether he caught the virus and gave it to her, whether he caught it and just had it by himself, either way it goes, why must I know that? Why must I know that? Of what relevance is that information to me? Did he do anything illegal? Was he with underage females, girls? If Bill Gates was with adults and they consented, why is that any of my concern? I can look at it and say that it's immoral and that it's gross, but is it illegal? Is he going to get prosecuted for that? And one more thing here. People say we got to have the Epstein files because we got to get the child traffickers locked up. Okay. Tell me the person who needs to get locked up. Tell me the person or the people who need to get locked up, specifically by name, and provide evidence. Not just an FBI anonymous tip, not just an email between people that has nothing illegal in it. Give me some actual evidence that says that person did this and they need to get locked up. If that's not presented, then what are we talking about exactly? I'm not really sure, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about the Epstein files and Dan Bongino's talk on it? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. From the beginning, I said, it ain't nothing really there. I mean, Epstein been dead. He already got locked up. So, I mean, there's nothing from him. Ghislaine Maxwell, she's locked up. I don't know people really want. I think people want to use this against those that they may not like. And also people want to see, they kind of bloodthirsty. They want to see somebody get thrown in the penitentiary for 1 trillion years. But it's like, okay, in order for that to happen, you got to have real evidence, not just hearsay, not just an opinion, not just simply being mentioned in the same breath as Jeffrey Epstein. You got to have real evidence. It's not just enough to have an allegation levied at you or, again, being in some kind of connection to Epstein. That connection in itself does not make one guilty, innocent, or anything else. You got to have evidence. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.